Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest breaking news, breaking the rumor in the new window, previewing the latest shows from WWE, New Japan, AEW, Impact, and Ring of Honor. I'm your host, James J. As always, with me, Kaliko Yachts.
We got a full house in the house tonight. Hi. What is up, everybody?
Back from his Roppongi bender amidst mayhem.
Hey, the gang's all here. What up?
Back from the brink of insanity, Scooter Dust.
I never left. I've always been here.
Oh, something we don't know.
What?
And it's a great day for pro wrestling. And a good day for John Morrison as he returned back to SmackDown last week.
And last night.
Keep getting them checks, baby.
Is there something you've been up to that Renee should know about or something?
And said Morrison, not Moxley.
Oh, I thought you said John Moxley. Okay, never
mind. And
Ty Valkyrie then. Just take out that name with Ty Valkyrie.
This is not any sort of, but John Morrison will actually be back in action next week.
But I mean,
really? Okay.
If John Morrison wrestles on SmackDown in the woods, does anybody see it?
In the woods? What are you talking about?
Maybe Michael Elgin.
Well, that's. I mean,
maybe Brian Cage.
Well, I mean, that's a small audience in Canada.
Probably Taya Valkyrie.
Nah,
the Chippendales, the audience the Chippendales audience.
So
tonight, the male. Never mind.
Tonight we will be covering all 3 nights of New Japan Wrestle Kingdom. It's going to be a long one. Well, not long, but the show ran 12 hours.
That's what she said.
She never said that for you, Mitch.
Sure, you don't know, man. Don't go there.
And we are wrestling with New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom Night 1.
You could have just said Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah,
just say Wrestle Kingdom, like the whole fucking thing. Like, just don't even. No need to say night 1. Just say the whole fucking show, like RVD.
As opposed to WWE Wrestle Kingdom.
I know.
From the Tokyo Dome, they actually had more people. They had around 40,000 night 1. And the first match on the card was Thunder Liger's
I like that. I like the
second to last match.
Oh no, I like his retirement match, his last match.
Yeah.
That was the one I liked.
He teamed up with Tiger Mask, the Great Sasuke Fujinami to take on Taguchi, Taikawara, Atani, and Sano. I know I butchered some of those names though.
I mean, honestly, it was just the welcome to the Liger showcase. We're just gonna give him the most give him the most bang for his buck on his way out the door.
Well, people seemed a little confused that maybe Thunder Liger lost to Taguchi. But if you kind of notice, Taguchi was the only guy from New Japan on the other side of the card of the match.
I can't believe Fujinami actually it must be like a wrestling skeleton at this point.
Yeah, and actually, like, there was a lot. I was like pumped, like New Japan, first match on the card. And by the time all these guys came down to the ring, it was Wrestle Kingdom 15.
They were all winded by the time they were down there.
Oh yeah.
I like I like the fact that Otani was in this to like give it like a WCW like linkage. Like it was acknowledging Liger, all the aspects of Liger's career.
By the time it was over, the young bucks were the old bucks.
Ah!
They've been the old Bucks.
Place to be.
But yeah, this last year of Thunder Lager, was just really a celebration of Thunder Lager. He pulled out every single version. He rekindled old rivalries. It was just kind of like acknowledging the past 30 years that he's had in pro wrestling.
But I think the only time like he actually did something crazy was when he fought Suzuki. That kind of took him way out of his element. So that's the only like, and even then Suzuki still like showed him the respect. So he still kissed the ring, if you will.
I mean, it was like it was like the Julius Caesar of No Japan. I've come, what is it? I've come to praise him, not to bury him. You know, in that sort of way. But quite honestly, I think the biggest highlight of this match had nothing to do with the wrestling.
Oh yeah?
It had to do with Mitch's beloved mentor telling an anecdote.
Please elaborate.
Rocky Romero telling an anecdote about Scott Flash Norton, exclaiming that he was in God damn it. And Rocky screams out, "I was 12!"
Alrighty. And that brings us to our first title match of the night. God, Tongaloa Tamatonga lost to David Finlay and Juice Robinson in 13 minutes and 25 seconds to become the new IWGP Tag Team Champions. This was kind of a surprise, considering God is so dominant.
Upset of the damn year.
Wait, am I looking at the wrong night?
Huh?
To be quite honest, remember what we were talking about last week, James, where it was like, depending on how this match tells you how Juice is going to be looked at for the next year, because
Right.
I mean, he's been like the singles dude that's just kind of been wallowing along, and the expectation was that somebody from the outside is going to come put a fire in his ass, and he's going to eventually respond. So by him winning that tag match, it kind of threw a monkey in the wrench of the U.S. title, if you will.
Wait,
yeah.
Wait, are we looking at night 1 or night 2?
Night one.
Dude, I said that. At top of the show.
Okay, you said first. You went right to the first title match. You skipped over the 8-man tag.
Well, yeah, because they don't.
We don't care about the damn 8-man tag.
But I can see how it confused somebody. I get where he's coming from.
This was a
I get where he's coming
12-hour
from.
show, Scooter. We have to skip something.
Didn't just easily just give the result.
Yeah, I know, right?
You know what? Just read the results. Say filler next. Okay.
This team won the. All right. Good night, guys.
Okay,
It would be that easy, yeah.
Suzuki-gun beat Lij in the second match, and Bullet Club beat Chaos in the third match.
No, other way around. Chaos beat Bullet Club.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Chaos always beats Bullet Club because Chase always takes the fucking pin like a bitch.
Limpieta.
Don't crap on Chase like that. He knows what he's good for.
Wait, hold on. I got it. I stand with Kaliko on this one. He's kind of the gimp of New Japan.
I know. As long as the Tokyo Pimp does not take a pin in those matches.
I mean, they were dealing with a case of bad luck.
Fale?
Fale.
So going back to God, they've been a part of New Japan, well, Tama Tonga has, for 10 years, and Tama Tonga has yet to get a victory at Wrestle Kingdom. Do you think that's kind of unfair? Do you kind of think like maybe this was their year, and kind of maybe Moxley resigning kind of put a wrench in that?
No, he's a loudmouth.
Nah, I just think he's the dude that says what he feels and what says what he says when he says it. Doesn't care who
But
gets
to it-
offended.
Exactly,
But
to an
I don't
extent
think
where
it.
it's not as good for business, you know.
But my thing is this: like they had a hell of a year. It ain't like they just, you know. I think this was just more like they just got caught slipping. They overlooked. I could see because the way that they wrestled throughout the year in their tag matches, they totally went out of character for Fin Juice or Juice Fin or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah, you wouldn't want a job to a team called Thin Juice,
Pretty much.
That sounds
So,
like a bad low rent porno, is what it sounds
or it sounds like a bad G Fuel flavor.
like.
Or maybe something
either
from
way,
Sprouts.
it's bad. Either way, it was bad. But to me, I mean, that doesn't encapsulate like they were New Japan's tag team of the year because they fucking ran roughshod over everybody.
Do you think that GOD's owed a victory at Wrestle Kingdom?
I don't think it defines them as much as anyone else. I mean, Naito winning at Wrestle Kingdom became a story in itself because that was 6 years in the making. Vice GOD,
After
it really doesn't matter whether they win or lose, if that makes sense.
After like the failed attempts in the past Wrestle Kingdom by Naito, that was basically
right. It wasn't a christening of the ship, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
The fifth match of the night, Lance Archer lost to John Moxley in a Texas death match in Tokyo, losing the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship in 14 minutes and 26 seconds.
Uh-huh.
Scooter, any thoughts on the match?
Like the match, yeah, okay, match was fine. It's the having Moxley vacate the title
Placeholder.
only to just like give it back to him after he's resigned. That's like
But
that's not a good faith move to the rest of the guys on the roster.
I agree, but it does in hindsight, it does now make sense as to why Lance Archer won so suddenly out of nowhere.
But granted, he only vacated it because of a fucking tsunami, so it's not like it was a contract issue.
Yeah.
So I would have thought if it wasn't for the tsunami, he probably would have held the title till then anyway.
Natural disasters happen all the time in Japan.
No, I apologize. I think that he was supposed to drop the belt to Juice that night because me and Kaliko, we like made up our minds that that's what was gonna happen at King of Pro Wrestling. And you know Moxley's contract only went so far, huh? But and then you know the tsunami, and he kind of owed them one more match anyway, and maybe a deal was struck and a deal was made. I don't know. But more Moxley in New Japan, I'm not complaining.
But personally, didn't he have that deal already in set? Because I mean, he signed that deal before he joined AEW, so technically he kind of has a loyalty to New Japan.
According to Mitch, his contract ended at King of Pro Wrestling, and he will not be coming back to New Japan. That's what you said in October.
Yeah, it was, and I said unless shit changes, and there's an open directive for the top guys in AEW to work New Japan. So the relationship has gone further than a lot of people are like giving attention to. So obviously, he signed a new deal of some sort. So I just don't know what type.
The sixth match.
But you're right. I did say that.
The sixth match on the card, Will Ospreay lost to Hiromu Takahashi in 24 minutes and 33 seconds with Time Bomb 2, and Hiromu becomes the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. This was definitely the feel-good moment of night one.
Probably the best match of night one, arguably, because they were, the moves that they were pulling, and what I like about New Japan is, like, they do the flips as shit, but the flips as shit eventually get to where it doesn't matter and it's more ground matted. Yeah. So they're not doing flips in minute 25, which is a really good thing.
Right. And, Mitch, you have a history of neck issues. What do you think Hiromu should be looking out for, considering he came back from a broken neck?
I don't think he would be back going against who he went against if he wasn't almost close to 100%, like ready, and that neck wasn't going to be a liability. So professionals like that, before they come back, they make sure an injury like that, like an edge injury or anything like that with the neck, you have to be almost 100% sure that you can take the certain bumps and stuff, because he couldn't half-ass it against Will Ospreay. So.
I mean, if you ever saw Scooter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have something to say to add to that?
No, I did not have anything to add to that.
Okay. What I was gonna say was, I mean, if you ever seen Hiromu Takahashi wrestle, you know that he doesn't put in 80 or even 100%. He gives 150.
So in other words,
yeah, I've always liked him. So I always thought he was the future of New Japan.
So in other words, he doesn't half-ass it; he uses his whole ass.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Never half-ass
anything.
It is.
Yeah.
Never half-ass anything. Whole ass everything.
And I mean, if you saw Road to Tokyo Dome, you saw all of his ass in those promos.
But I will say this though, I gotta give props to Ospreay, because when I saw him in the States, motherfuckers wasn't rocking with him like that, and he's improved dramatically. I'll give him that.
The seventh match on the card, Jay White lost to Tetsuya Naito in 33 minutes and 54 seconds with a Destino, and Naito becomes the new Intercontinental Champion, and half of our double main event for night 2 was set.
This was also another good match. I mean, the funny thing is that there are reports about, like, if Kenny had a sign, what would have happened, and this all would have happened then. So let's say Kenny would have beat Tanahashi, lose to Okada, and in New York, just to lose to Naito tonight. So basically, Jay White literally took Kenny Omega's spot. And I guess, like, the Jay White winning the IWGP Heavyweight title, he was literally a transition champion and nothing more than that, based on the reporting that I saw.
That takes a whole different aspect of the term transitioning.
Oh, dude.
But it also looks at, like, how the company views Jay White though too. So it also just gives you a glimpse of how they view Jay White and how they viewed Gaijins, because I think everyone kind of knew it was going to be Naito night, but I mean, just to show, like, a guy like Kenny Omega, who literally had a 4-year journey of getting over Okada just to lose a Naito, so
right.
It just shows how shit just turns because people leave.
Well, Jay White, they gave him a slow build before they pushed him, but I think they kind of had to do that because, New Japan does the big four, And the Big Four always has at least one Gaijin in there. And they needed a new Gaijin, and Jay White was right there to take that position.
Yeah, but that also kind of looks like it. I mean, if it wasn't for him being in the Bullet Club, he probably wouldn't have been there. Because a guy like Lance Archer could have been a more menacing force than Jay White. But I mean, not knocking Jay White at all. But I think they kind of had plans for him to stay in that U.S. title area, and just by Kenny leaving, he just happened to be the next guy up.
And just one thing I'd like to mention, Naito was yeah. What?
I was just gonna say it's really the whole not Bullet Club, but the elite that left that huge hole, and so he was kind of thrust in the position of leading the Bullet Club.
Did you just say he was thrusted into a huge hole?
I sure did.
And I'd just like to say, watching this match, Naito looked like he was on. Sometimes he gets a little sentimental in the ring, complacent. Not the case tonight. He looked like he was ready to win a match, which I haven't seen him do in a long while. And that brings us to.
But he went through hell to get it though. Because
yeah.
you know how he's inconsistent, but he went through hell to get it. I will say that Jay White did give him hell. But continue.
The 8th match in our main event, Kazuchika Okada defeated Kota Ibushi in 39 minutes and 16 seconds with a Rainmaker. And Okada retains the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Great match. I thought it was a lot better than the one at G1.
6 stars.
88 stars based on Nick Meltzer, but
69.
Even that too.
Ooh. Say 69.
Ooh. But honestly, I think that match. I mean, we all knew where it was gonna go. It was gonna go to Naito and Okada because there's history there, and it was the right two people to do it because. As I was saying last week, it goes back 6 years to like where their main event got knocked down to a semi-main event, and it kind of gives them a chance to do it 2 years in a row for that 6 years, you know. Right. And to me, I felt like Naito should have got like 1 2 years ago, and if you saw the crowd after he lost, it felt like their hearts got ripped out straight up. So they got a chance to do it again, and this time for both belts to see how is it going to go. But Ibushi is just like I feel like G1 winners are just horrible at winning. Like when was the last G1 winner that went on to actually win the title?
Tanahashi last year.
Other than him though, like that was a given because Omega was leaving.
Didn't Kenny win it?
No, he did
not.
No,
he did not.
No,
he did not. He lost it. Other than Tanahashi, and I'll give you Tanahashi, but Tanahashi was in a special situation where Omega was on the way out, and they knew he was on the way out.
Right.
But before that, I mean, the last one, Jesus, it's been a while. It's like, what's the point of winning the G1 if you're not going to get the title? Like a briefcase with no cash in. You know what I'm saying? Like shit.
True. What did you think about Okada's short tights? Because we've seen him in short tights, long tights, medium-sized tights. Seems like he's going through all the types.
All the phases.
Yeah.
If he shows up in a thong next time, I'm done.
That's Tai Chi.
Yeah, that's Tai Chi. But to me, it doesn't matter. He's fucking the best wrestler in the world. Like, he's only 32, 33. He's fucking young as hell, and he's the fucking man there. And he wrestles in anything.
The best wrestler in the world, did you?
He is amongst the best at his age because he's only in his 30s.
No, it's
Like
it's how you said it. Fucking best wrestler in the world. Like,
yeah, he's the fucking best wrestler in the world.
there we go. Right.
I'm with Scooter on this one.
But to me, it doesn't matter. Like he's long shorts, long pants, thong song doesn't matter. That dude will wrestle anybody, and he makes people better. That's the good thing. He can wrestle at anybody's level.
An itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
That too.
I believe that's Dusty Rhodes.
Even if his booty go da 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 da.
Did he have dumps like a truck?
Guy's like, what? What?
Let me see the butt.
Because dumps come out the butt.
I think he's moving that thing, or whatever that chorus is.
Oh God, it's just.
I'm not saying it on purpose. I didn't. Come on.
I know, and that's worse.
That concludes night 1. We are wrestling with night 2 now. On the pre-show, Evil, Shingo, and Bushi won a gauntlet match to become the IWGP Openweight 6-man tag team champions.
It's the never open weight 6-man tag team.
By the way, real quick, I retract everything I said about Io Shirai being sexy. Not because she's not sexy, but because Evil Sonata is her boyfriend, and he will kick my fucking ass.
Wait, who's her boyfriend, Evil or Sonata?
Evil. I meant Evil.
Evil Sonata.
Evil Sonata running trains.
I heard you say Evil and Sonata back to back, and I accidentally, for some reason, I don't know. It's been a long night.
Okay, that's new information to me. That's disturbing. She's
evil.
dating Evil.
Her and Evil.
Yeah.
And she there's word that she isn't super happy in America because she's away from him. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to our first match on the actual card. Sano and Dundo Lager lost to Ryu Lee and Hiromu Takahashi in 12 minutes and 16 seconds. Hiromu pinned Lager with a time bomb. And that ends Gypsum Dundo Lager's 31-year career.
And it went out the right way. He didn't go out like Kevin Nash or anything, trying to hog the spotlight for even in his last match, winning his last match, because that's a Nash move. But yeah, he did the right thing and did the job on his way out. So as he should.
I just found it fitting that he lost to the. It's funny because he was the one of the first people to defend the title, the junior light heavyweight title at the Tokyo Dome, and he lost it to the actual champion. So that it has a special touch to it.
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously 31 years of Lager, we've all had moments with Dundo Lager. We've all seen him wrestle and compete.
I would say, real quick, I would say his WCW run was what I saw the most over here in the States.
Kaliko, what does Dundo Lager mean to pro wrestling in New Japan?
Shit. He's probably one of the first Japanese stars to actually make a dent into the bloody fucking American scene, because you got to think he came in, made a splash that forced WWE to sign Taika Michinoku, kind of to try to offset it. So he was the domino to show the Japanese style from a cruiserweight, light heavyweight perspective, because you got to think.
And without him, you wouldn't have the Ultimo Dragons that came after that. And
exactly, that's exactly what I was gonna say. The Ultimo Dragons.
If there was a Mount Rushmore of New Japan, Liger would be on it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. He better be.
He would be probably the leading head. Well, maybe the second.
No, same question to you, Mitch.
Yeah, I caught myself.
Same question, Mitch.
Shut up. Oh, I thought you said don't question me.
No, same question. But what does Thunder Lago mean to pro wrestling?
It's anyone can say like a bunch of words. It's just it's you can't really put it into words. He is icon for sure. He should be on the Mount Rushmore of New Japan and in like the top 50 wrestlers anywhere in the world, I believe. So, and he was inspirational to a lot of people growing up. When I was a kid, I watched him. So he turned me on to New Japan and into Japan wrestling. So
Scooter, same question.
Can we finally put an end to the debate that, one, it's not Jason Thunder Liger.
Jushin.
Gibson.
Two, it's Jushin, and there is no Y in his name.
It's an I. Yep.
It's just Jushin.
Oh, so it's not like Jason, like the Power Ranger.
Who said? Hey, who said that they thought it was Jason?
No, because when he was
I never thought that.
in '95 with WCW,
They called him that.
they kept referring to him as Jason Thunder Liger.
Well, that's WCW. They didn't know what the hell they were doing.
I blame it. Yeah, that's Atlanta. That's our fault.
That's the old white boy.
That's the South. Yeah. Our bad. Our bad. Your mama named you Jason. We calling you Jason. Damn it. Like our bad.
I mean, he was part of the first Nitro. Yeah,
Part of takeovers.
That match with Tyler Breeze. In one of his few WWE appearances. And, I mean, his mask is probably one that I would even say is up there with the heritage that masks in Mexico mean.
Yeah, that's true. Because when you got Arby's donning your mask on Twitter for a meal special, you've done something right.
I mean, yeah, it's been. I mean, he's had a cultural impact on pretty much the world, let alone Japan. New Japan doesn't have a Hall of Fame as of right now, but WWE has one. Do you see Thunder Lago going into the WWE Hall of Fame?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
They have specific categories every year, and they always have an international Japanese inductee, and he will be probably in the WWE Hall of Fame, probably as soon as next year, or
next year,
as late as he will be in the WWE Hall of Fame before 2005.
If Inoki's there, he's there. So there's your answer right there. Oh. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
If Fujinami's there, he's there.
Exactly.
That means, yeah,
and that means finally getting Liger in video games that aren't Japan.
Well, I mean, you could download him from onto 2K 2020 if it doesn't crash your computer.
That's not the same.
Second match on the card, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori lost to Show and Yo in 14 minutes and 8 seconds to become the new Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. And probably the most disgusting thing you'll see in pro wrestling this week.
I mean, I thought we thought they were going to break up. We thought we were going to have the Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty thing.
Right.
But, to be disappointed.
I mean, who doesn't want to see a Show versus Yo match?
Yeah, that should be fun for the commentators.
And
Hopefully
your
he
show,
won't put his.
go.
Hopefully he won't put his cup in his mouth during that match. Third match on the card, Zack Sabre Jr. beats Sonata for the British Heavyweight Championship in 12
Was this
minutes and
Evil
32 seconds with a European clutch.
Man, don't even give me. Just next. Next. They do him dirty. They do that boy dirty. Next.
Next on the card, Jon Moxley defeated Juice Robinson in 12 minutes and 48 seconds with a Death Rider to retain
Short
the
match.
IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Very short match.
You know, US Heavyweight Championship, maybe I'm a little biased. They have some of the best matches on New Japan cards. Am I wrong?
Not wrong, but I mean, it's Mox and Juice, so they kind of got some familiarity with each other. So
But I mean, yeah.
It's about the chemistry more than anything.
Well, look who your champions are. You got the first ever was Kenny Omega, Jay White, who went on to become IWGP champion, Cody Rhodes, and Jon Moxley. Four really big names to elevate that championship in a very short duration of time.
That's because they want to make that imprint in LA, baby. They're trying to get that dojo. And Lance Archer, yeah. So they got a couple names, but they trying to get that imprint in LA, baby.
Fifth match, and this is probably the most controversial match for nothing that actually happened in the match, but Kenta lost to Goto in 16 minutes and 12 seconds with a GTO. Goto became the IWGP Never Openweight champion once again.
It's always like chaos. They either give that belt to him or Ishii. It's like
Right.
It's like nobody else, just him or Ishii.
Well, that's how the Yakuza works, you know.
Are you insinuating that
Well, all Japanese professional sports to some degree, yeah, but Pride was fully run by the Yakuza.
That's racist.
No, shut up, Scooter. It's nothing to do with race. Yakuza, 100%. There's history behind this. Go look it up. They ran Pride, the Pride Fighting Championship League. 100%.
So that's where we get the Pride Parade.
And that's nice. And that's why they couldn't compete with UFC anymore, and they kind of just caved in because it went to shit when they found out that the Yakuza was supporting them monetarily. So.
The sixth match, Kota Ibushi lost to Jay White with a Blade Runner in 24 minutes and 58 seconds. Tokyo Dome Wrestle Kingdom, not kind to Kota Ibushi.
I mean, it's kind of weird because they were wanting him to win the G1, and then they're like, fuck off. Like, one night they just go from yay to fuck off. It's just weird.
But, I mean, if you look back at his history, he lost to Prince Devitt some years ago. He lost to Nakamura. Last year he lost to Will Ospreay. Nearly got concussed, did get concussed, and now he lost to straight at Wrestle Kingdom.
I mean, it's a matter of there's got to be that guy at the top that's always willing to put the other guy over, and that's Ibushi here. I mean, does Ibushi really have anything left to gain?
Well, I mean, he hasn't won a match at all at the biggest event. He's kind of like the reverse Tanahashi at this point.
I mean, but he did get that G1 though, so I mean, It's kind of like a give or take. Like he's the guy that I guess it was a feeler. I mean, it's good that Gato got it right.
I mean, was he given this spot because maybe Tanahashi wasn't ready, or is maybe winding down his career?
And I mean, I mean, you can make that argument because Tanahashi has more to deal with the storyline than Ibushi, but Ibushi is the guy that won the G1, so technically they thrusted him in the storyline just based on the fact that he was the G1 winner.
Right.
So he got put in there just basically by principle, on the principalities of it all. So it made sense that he wasn't going to win because none of the stories got nothing to do with him, and he just happened to luck up and won the G1. And that's what they made it look like, basically, both nights.
Next match, the 7th match on the card, Hiroshi Tanahashi lost to Chris Jericho in 22 minutes and 24 seconds with a Walls of Jericho. And Jericho wore the AEW belt to the ring.
Jericho out here trying to be the peacemaker instead of the painmaker, boy. He out here trying to, like, let's go get this money. Fuck the bullshit. Everybody else on the bullshit. And he like, fuck the bullshit. Let's get this money, yo. Which I respect. I respect that 1,000%.
Now, Mitch, I heard rumors that Rocky was the one in contact with Tony Khan. Can you maybe either deny or confirm this?
I honestly have no idea. I haven't really been in the loop and paying attention on things recently.
Give him a couple of White Claws. We'll get it out of him.
I really don't know.
And
Claws break the law, baby.
I mean, what Scooter said a couple weeks ago about Chris Jericho having a dad body, I think it was pretty evident in this match. He looked pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Those are
And
very odd. Sorry, I have to say it. Those pauses are just really awkward.
He was showing a little bit of that. Trying to think of a way to frame it, but I can't.
Brain fart.
the 8th match of the night and the main event, Kazuchika Okada lost to Tetsuya Naito in 35 minutes and 37 seconds with a Destino, and Naito becomes the first ever IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Double Champion.
His biggest achievement to date, honestly, like 6 years of hard work and 6 years of being denied. And if people will just go watch the rise and fall, or the fall and rise of Naito, that'll tell you basically how this freaking whole thing was going to play out. And to me, it was a perfect ending for him, per se, because he deserved it. He earned it. I thought he earned it 2 years ago, but, wasn't in the cards. He's inconsistent, and he went with his inconsistency. But for one night, that's all you need to be. You ain't got to be better than Okada all the time, just one time. And he got the one time.
I mean, and I'll ask Scooter this question. Is this one of the biggest moments in New Japan in quite a while?
Absolutely. I mean, given the fact that titles are more sacred in Japan than in any other area where wrestling is.
That's because honor still exists in Japan.
And the idea that one, he wins 2 titles is something. The fact that they're willing to put both belts on him is a show of respect, maybe even a passing of the torch.
Approval, yeah.
Speak that
Naito 2 belts.
that Naito is the man leading the New Japan into this next decade.
I mean, it's kind of like people's been wanting this for so long. It's kind of like, Stone Cold not winning the championship at WrestleMania 14 against Shawn Michaels.
But it's also like him winning it 2 years later against The Rock. So it's kind of, but I get everybody's point. But to me, I mean, Naito's hella old. He's been in the game a minute, so he's kind of been. The dues have been paid for this fucking. Like the price has been paid for him to get to this point. Now the problem is whether he stays on top because he has an issue of being complacent with being happy to be there, and that's where we got to see whether he turns it another gear.
And
Oh, now by the way, check out the chat. I posted a picture of what Jushin Thunder Liger looked like in 1989.
Oh, I have it in my head.
oh yeah,
I already know what do you mean? Like
check in the Google Hangout chat.
I'm trying.
It looks so.
and I just like to say about Naito.
I don't see anything.
It's kind of funny that he was
I don't see nothing.
he was gonna retire maybe like a month prior to this, or was at least thinking about it. And he went from almost retiring to on top of the world leading New Japan.
Well, I think that was just like the low point because remember when he lost to Taichi? I'm like, bro, you lost to Taichi? Come on, fam. Like that was like the lowest of lows for him in 2019. My man lost to Taichi. You know how horrible you have to be? And it ain't like he like got fucked up and lost. He got his ass skull drugged by Taichi. So I'm like, what the fuck, fam? So for him to come back, it just I guess it just adds to the drama to the comeback and makes it that more emotional. Because I mean, when you got 30,000 people booing fucking Okada, that tells you something.
And then special moment for Naito, big celebration. The people obviously clamoring for it, and it was completely and utterly ruined by Kenta. And my enthusiasm for Bullet Club has burst with that bubble. Any thoughts on Kenta attacking Naito and ruining the perfect feel-good moment?
He's a hater. And he brought all the hater. He brought the hateration and holleration in the dancery. And sir, I love Kenta, but I did not appreciate this hateration that was coming out of his lips. And the fact that he sat on Naito, man, that's ultra disrespectful. But if anybody were to do it, he's the most hated man in Japan. I mean, between him and Taichi, it's literally a tie.
The most hated man in the world at this point.
I say Japan. I mean, there's a network of people that love him in the States because he's the GTS guy. So I mean, you kind of got to give him that much. But in Japan, he's the hated guy.
Because he was in Noah. He was in
he was in Noah. So
Wrestling Federation, right?
Exactly. So for him to do all that and to be in Noah, yeah. So, right. It only made sense for him.
He's a natural heel in JPW, right?
Scooter, what was your thought on the attack on Naito to end the night? Do you think it should have been the feel-good moment, or do you think that they got it right with the attack?
I mean, they probably got it right with the attack. I mean, it's your ending. I mean, it's your biggest show of the year. But at the same time, I mean, how often do the big shows of the year actually lead to something else. You know, it's usually something happens and then that's it, and then it starts over. And they're not trying to just start fresh. Start fresh after it's a cycle. Like after Wrestle Kingdom, all right, let's go back to square one and start building towards the next Wrestle Kingdom from the moment Wrestle Kingdom ends. They're more prioritizing their next immediate shows instead of thinking so far down the line that I think it was absolutely the right way to go.
Now, coming out of this, Naito will defend both belts against Kenta in February 9th at New Beginning. What the hell are you listening to, Mitch?
Well, oh, it's the PlayStation window. I'm just sitting in front of my TV, man.
Sounds like you're listening to Centaur music.
I thought he was at a massage therapist. I thought he was at the massage place.
It's the PlayStation
ending.
Menu,
happy ending. You want happy ending? That's what I thought. I was thinking that.
There, I'm off of it now. Okay, there.
Coming out of this, Kenta will fight Naito for both belts. When asked about that, Naito said, this guy lost to the Neville Openweight Championship to Goto. So why, just because he beat me up after Wrestle Kingdom, that allows him to jump the front of the line? Agree with that or disagree, Kaliko?
I mean, it's yes and no to me, because he's the natural guy to be next. No, because he basically was saying the only people he wants to defend both titles against are the guys that he fought over those 2 nights. So I get he wants to kind of keep it as a special occasion rather than just doing it all willy-nilly. It's funny because they ended Wrestle Kingdom the same way WWE ended WrestleMania for the women's division, and yet, WWE had to find a way to get both belts off to keep that brand split. New Japan doesn't have that problem, but it's going to be interesting how they book matches for him down the line.
Mitch, what are your thoughts?
Hold on. Sorry. I was sidetracked. I did not.
Stop playing Fortnite and pay attention to the podcast.
Not playing Fortnite. What the fuck? I'm not playing Fortnite. I'm multitasking on my computer, bro. So, what? Can you repeat what you were saying?
Does Naito have a point that Kenta doesn't deserve a championship match?
Not in my eyes. Kenta's a legend in Japan. I can see why people get pissed off at it, but I'm all for it, man. It's really that simple.
And Scooter?
I'm not sure if Kenta is the first person that comes to mind. I mean, I'm wondering if this is just a way to fulfill maybe certain contractual obligations Kenta was given upon re-signing.
You think he had this in his contract?
I'm thinking his time under WWE contract taught him a couple of things.
Oh.
And I'm thinking a guaranteed main event title match, would be one of them. That's not to say that a match between Naito and Kenta won't bring down the house. It will. It just wasn't I just don't think it was what everyone was expecting. I think
right.
a lot of people were expecting Jay White to go back in, to renew his feud with Naito. After this, and at least take one of the titles off of him.
So you think that they should take one of the belts off of him right away? Make history and then drop it.
I mean, quite honestly, yes, it's history, and yeah, it's a sign of honor. But how much can one man do with two belts without coming out looking like either a complete Iron Man or looking like a complete just a jobber by losing both of them?
Right. And the next 2-3 big events coming up are the New Beginnings tour on the 1st, the 2nd, and the 9th, where Naito will defend against Kenta, and we'll have our predictions later in this month. But now we are heading to the Royal Rumble. That's the next big match, the next big event on the card. So we will be covering that all this month as well. It's the Road to WrestleMania. And that shall do it. Scooter, if they like the show, what should they do?
They should like, comment, and subscribe.
No, the way you did it 2 weeks ago, I believe.
I can't remember.
It was a song.
Dance, monkey, dance.
Perfect timing by Mitch. Dance, monkey.
I love monkey. No,
You're the monkey.
I don't remember.
It was a song by if you think I'm sexy.
That almost sounded like Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson type. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Rod Stewart.
Go get the switch, damn it!
Okay. It's over now. It's over.
You wanna comment? Come on and subscribe. I don't know.
That was funny, Kaliko.
Okay. If you like the show, please like, subscribe, comment on both YouTube and Castbox. If you want to continue the conversation, we will be continuing it on Twitter. You can follow me at JamesJ993. Where can they find Kaliko?
I am Kaliko. Giveaway starts again this year since nobody wants to answer my questions. I got y'all. I'll make it easier for people to win.
Yeah, what was the answer to that question? Because I tried looking up the answer and I couldn't understand the formatting of the question.
The Magician.
Magician.
Oh,
What was the question?
the Magician.
What was the question?
Fantasma?
So there was a so the question was like, there's a guy, he only had one match on WWE, but in the match he made the referee, he was able to steal the referee's draws in the match.
Wasn't it?
Who is the wrestler?
Was that
the wrestler?
Sounds more like a fetish.
Yeah, it was, but it was straight. But every answer I'm giving you, every question I'm giving is based on my encyclopedia.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm sitting up here making up bullshit out of my ass.
No, because I actually have the same book in storage.
So we're not playing the game bullshit where you can just call someone and say bullshit and see if they're lying or not.
Yeah. So yeah, it was the Magician. It was.
No, we know you. We know you ain't making it up, man. But.
And where can they find Mitch Mayhem?
And you can find me at Mitch Mayhem X
and Scooter Dust.
Find me at Scooter Dust and at Wrestling on UND.
For my co-host Kaliko Yachtsmith's Mayhem Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Chocolate titties.